Hello everybody and welcome to a very special edition of the Binding of Isaac. Today we are going to be listing off my personal top 10 rarest items in the game. Now these items might not be the rarest for every Binding of Isaac player, but they happen to be the hardest to find for me. I believe that every Isaac game is just a little bit different for each player and what items appear more frequently than others. Some might be quite obvious, while others that made this list might surprise you. I came up with a list of about 25 hard to find items and narrowed it down from there. I used Cheat Engine to help me run a series of tests to determine which items were indeed the rarest. A few items, while quite rare, still did not make the list, and I will give you a shout out to them at the end of the video. Now, without further ado, here are my top 10 rarest items in the Binding of Isaac. Number 10. Technology 2. I've only had a couple of runs involving this specific item. It shoots a constant laser beam across the entirety of a room, causing damage upon anything it touches. Technology 2 isn't necessarily the most powerful of weapons, but it scales very well with damage upgrades. Unlike Technology 1, Technology 2's laser does not seem to be affected by certain damage upgrades. If you have ever used Technology 1, getting an item like Sacred Heart or Number 1 will change the way the beam looks and acts. Technology 2 keeps it simple with one straight laser beam. It can be found in item rooms and on occasion from a Judgment Baby who hasn't lost his pacifier and wants to screw you over by giving you something like Lemon Mishap. Number 9. Speedball. Now this item is probably a surprise to see on this list. However, this is one of the syringes that I rarely ever see. Matter of fact, when I was making this list, it was like the 4th item that I wrote down. Through my series of tests with Cheat Engine, Speedball was indeed just as rare as I thought it was. This item gives Isaac a speed plus range upgrade. It also puts a goofy looking smile on his face while sporting big dark black eyeballs. Not necessarily a great item, but not terrible either. For as rare as it is, you would think it would be much more valuable. Instead, it gives you one of the least favored stat upgrades necessary, which is range. This item can be found in item rooms and gold chests. On to number 8, Ipecac. Ipecac was one of the first items that helped me have an easy and successful run in my Isaac career. It's a strong, bomb-like shot that destroys just about everything in its path, including Isaac. You have to be incredibly careful when shooting these explosive shots, as to not hit yourself and cause an entire heart of damage. Ipecac is great against bosses, and that it does such an incredible amount of damage. It's also very useful in reaching chests that are surrounded by rocks and finding the secret rooms, since it's basically an unlimited number of bombs. However, it is a poor weapon against very fast-moving enemies, since your shots tend to arch over them because of the pace they are hurtling themselves at you. But alas, this is an item, if found, that you just can't afford to pass up, even with its minor flaws in offense. Ipecac can be found in item rooms. Number 7. Pyro. Now this item never showed up in my series of tests. I knew it was rare, but I just couldn't figure out what triggered it to appear. However, I've gotten it at least 4 or 5 times, so it isn't quite the rarest on this list. Pyro is an awesome item to find since it gives you 99 bombs, which is basically unlimited bombs because you will never really need that many throughout a gameplay. Pyro can only be found in secret rooms on the off chance that there is actually an item in there. And it cannot be rolled from another item from what I've discovered. Upon entering the secret room, it must be the original item sitting in there. I tried re-rolling the secret room items into Pyro, but ended up getting Undefined, which is an item that appears once you have gone through every other item in the game. Even though it is an incredibly rare secret room item, it isn't quite as hard to find as number 6, Epic Foetus. Many would argue that this is indeed the rarest item in the game. None would doubt it is the most powerful item, but to say it is the rarest is extremely debatable. Epic Foetus is unlocked by completing the Doctor's Revenge challenge that came with the Wrath of the Lamb edition. Epic Foetus can only be found in secret rooms. To find this item just sitting in the secret room is indeed incredibly rare. However, using the D6, it is very easy to re-roll an item in the secret room into Epic Foetus. The secret room only contains a handful of certain items that can appear, so abusing that bit of information is very easy to re-roll those items into Epic Foetus. I believe Edmund McMillan claimed that the 1-up is coded to be the rarest secret room item But the 1-up didn't even make this list, and we already have 2 other secret room items on here. Pretty much, Epic Foetus is targeted missiles that fall from the sky, causing a huge amount of damage and destruction. Obtaining Epic Foetus is pretty much a guaranteed win. Number 5. Guppies Hairball. This is quite possibly one of the stupidest items in the Binding of Isaac. This item can only be unlocked by collecting 3 of the 4 Guppy items found through a single playthrough. The Guppy items that can be collected are Guppy's Paw, Guppy's Tail, Guppy's Head, or Dead Cat. Preferably the former 3 items, since Dead Cat knocks the player down to 1 heart while giving them 9 lives. Upon receiving the 3 required items, Isaac will turn to Guppy, which is a flying cat that spews a buttload of attack flies. This form is not easy to achieve, since finding all 3 items in one playthrough is rather difficult to do. However, doing so unlocks the incredibly rare Guppy's Hairball. This item, found only in item rooms, follows you around and can be used as melee weapon by swinging your Isaac character around in a circle. The more enemies you hit, the bigger and more powerful the hairball becomes. However, swinging around in circles is not the easiest thing to do when you're trying to avoid getting hit by enemies. Even though this item is balls hard to find, it is usually one that I would re-roll. Too bad it's required for that coveted Platinum God achievement. Number 4. Dead Dove. My god, is this item hard to find. This item is only found in angel rooms, which are already rare as it is. Dead Dove is the equivalence of the Spirit of the Night, which can be found in the Devil Room for 2 hearts, Curse Rooms, and occasionally from a Demon Judgment. It turns the Isaac character into a white, ghost-like figure that can fly and shoot spectral tears. Upon all my hours of playing, I have probably only obtained this item 3, maybe 4 times. Your best bet for it showing up is to decline all deals with the devil and feed as many beggars as possible, so that angel rooms appear after a boss battle. Picking up the guardian angel out of an item room also helps, since it's the most common angel room item, and picking it up takes it out of rotation. Also, if the Bible appears and you don't want it, pick it up and set it back down. Helps so it will show back up again as well, which will improve your chances of getting more rare items to appear. Dead Dove is a great item to have, especially since it's free. Number 3. Dr Fetus. You might be wondering why this item is further up the list than Epic Foetus. The reason being is because it is incredibly easy to reroll the secret room into Epic Foetus than it is to reroll an item room into Dr Fetus. There are much more items to have to roll through in an item room, and the chances of getting Dr Fetus are very low. It's already programmed into the game to be a rare drop, which means finding in the wild is already hard enough. Even though this is a rare item, the player does have the chance to play as Dr Fetus in the Doctor's Revenge challenge that came with the Wrath of the Lamb edition. The player starts off with Dr Fetus and can pretty much bowl through the playthrough in attempts to unlock Epic Foetus. Dr Fetus gives the player the ability to shoot a constant stream of bombs, which can cause an immense amount of damage. The great thing about Dr Fetus, unlike Epic Foetus, is that these bombs can be upgraded by picking up items such as Bob's Curse, Mr. Mega, and Bobby Bomb, which respectively give poison damage, extra damage / bigger bombs, and homing bombs. While not a guaranteed win by picking up this item, a win is at least greatly enhanced for that run. Number 2. Sacred Heart. Some of you probably thought this was going to be spot number 1. Even though, to be honest, this is still easier to find than the next item on the list. Sacred Heart is the item that every player hopes to get the moment they step through an angel room door. There are some fantastic items in the angel room like the Relic, the Mitre, Holy Grail, Dead Dove, but that doesn't matter. Every time that white holy door appears, we can only pray that it's Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart is a damage boost, along with homing tears. It turns the player's tears to a milky white color. Sacred Heart is one of those items that synergizes incredibly well with damage upgrades. I really can't stress that enough. The amount of damage it causes when mixed with something like Max's Head or Polyphemus is just overwhelming. I know many players have a really hard time finding this item, and it's usually the #1 needed item to find to achieve Platinum God. If you want to increase your chances of getting this godlike item, take my advice from the Dead Dove's view in making angel rooms appear more frequently. I've also heard rumors that this item can appear in curse rooms, but I have yet to see that. And now folks, we are at our #1 spot. Let's do a quick recap on what has been covered as my rarest items in the Binding of Isaac. Coming in at number 10 was Technology 2, a constant laser beam of upgradable damage. Number 9, the rarest and happiest of the syringes, Speedball. At a sickly number 8, the Puke Balls of Ipecac. Rolling in at number 7, the unrollable Pyro. Coming in from heaven at number 6, the almighty Epic Foetus. From this cat's stomach comes number 5, Guppies Hairball. Look what the dog drug in, Mom! It's number 4, Dead Dove. Blasting away at number 3 is the classy Dr Fetus. And last but not least, JD and Turk present to us number 2, Sacred Heart. And now for the moment everyone has been waiting for, the number 1 spot on my list of rarest Binding of Isaac items. Number 1, Fate. This item is so incredibly rare and hard to come by. It can only be found in locked gold chests, and to make it even harder to find, even if you open a gold chest and it has an item in it, you can't re-roll it into Fate. Much like Pyro, this item is programmed to be a standalone item that must be found in the wild, no matter what. Even finding it for this video took me into the depths too, and that was with abusing the D20 and making gold chests constantly appear. I've only ever had this item twice in the near 200 hours of gameplay. It turns the player into Blue Baby, which is a visual effect only, and grants them the ability to fly. It also gives the player an Eternal Heart, which can be turned into a health upgrade, assuming you still have it by the time you move to the next floor. This item is by no means a game-breaking item. It's pretty much just a flying item, and those are more than abundant throughout the game. However, it is needed for Platinum God, and it's just so hard to come across. And when you do find it, it's such a satisfying feeling. I don't know about you guys, but this is indeed my rarest item in the Binding of Isaac. Other items that are rare but didn't quite make the cut are Polyphemus, the Prayer Card, Max's Head, Daddy Longlegs, Cupid's Arrow, and the D6. Finding the D6 in the wild is actually quite hard to do, and still very rare. These items are all incredibly hard to find, but unfortunately, just weren't rare enough. I hope you all enjoyed that video. It was actually a lot of work to do. It was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of work. As you can tell, it was probably very scripted. I did have to go through because otherwise you'd be hearing me go all that. I wanted to kind of make it more fluent. Anyways, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Comment, like, share, do whatever you like. But I'm thinking about maybe doing more of these in the future. It does take a lot of time, but I still might do them. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So feel free to tell me what your rarest item is. I'm really interested because Fate was my number 1 rarest item, and there was a lot of other rare items, but Fate was definitely my number 1. I know it's not the same for everybody, but go ahead and share it in the comments. Maybe get a debate going on with people. You can always share it on Reddit. I visit Reddit, the Binding of Isaac subreddit, a lot under Davers84. But anyways, yes, thanks for watching, and until next time.